thank you for everyone who's come this evening, and welcome to Soul Talks Live, a podcast-style event with the arts always at its heart. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Grace Foley, and my background is in the arts, and tomorrow I will be ending my training to become a life coach, so I'm nearly there. I created this series because I believe we all need more genuine connection in a world where that can sometimes feel a bit lost. Each month I sit down with special guests for an open and honest conversation. Tonight I'm thrilled to welcome Lily Macmonagle, Shannon, a powerhouse of talent for Killarney. Lily is the founder of the Macademy Performing Arts School, where she nurtures young performers in singing, drama and dance. On stage, she's captivated audiences in leading roles such as Charity in Sweet Charity, a performance that earned her an Ames Best Actress Award, and as Eva Perron in Evita, praised for her stunning voice, matched only by her top-class acting skills. She's also a sought-after wedding singer, bringing her rich, expressive vocals to couples' most important days. Lily once said, "Acting is definitely my favourite. My favourite thing about it is that you can be anybody. You have no inhibitions and you can really get on stage and be this character." Alongside her artistic work, she uses her platform to speak with compassion about humanitarian issues, including raising awareness for the people of Gaza. So let's give a big warm welcome to Lily Macmonagle Shannon. We want to thank you all for coming out on such a wet evening with the late shows on and all that. So thank you so much for coming out. So, Lily, we'll start at the beginning. A very good place to start. What is your earliest memory?
My earliest memory, performance-wise, is probably performing with my cousins up in Limerick. So my uncle has a costume shop, and we would try on costumes. We would pick different characters in different shows, and we would always be the sound of music in our family. So we would be the kids from the sound of music. And Christmas Day, traveling around to different houses, singing, we'd always be given a song to sing, and kind of, I suppose your confidence builds from there.
Oh, that's gorgeous. And how many of you were involved in this production?
In the production? Well, my cousins used to be the directors and the producers, and we were kind of placed in the living room, and while our parents were having dinner and drinking loads of wine and having the crack, and they had to come all about to watch us put on a show.
And you're the parent now, so have you experienced this the other way around?
No, but I can't wait to see it. And I have a budding family of performers, so hopefully they'll do it for us someday.
Oh,
now they do. We have I have a nephew that raps, and I have all my nieces are all involved in musical theatre, and Moss and Penny, my little boy and girl, are mad performers, and I know one of these things are going to come from the two. Fingers crossed.
So it's going down through the bloodline. No fear there. Oh, that's fantastic. I think the next question, you might have already answered it, but can you remember the first time you got a reaction from others for something you said or did? So I don't know, was it a person's performance or another time?
Like that, like in a good way?
In any way.
No. I remember my granddad Dodo always popped me up on his knee and asked me to sing the song.
Okay.
Probably wasn't able to sing at the time, but I do remember he had a lot of time for me for it,
yeah.
And I probably enjoyed that a lot. So that's, probably the first time.
You got like a little reaction, positive one. Okay.
Positive one.
Positive one.
He also had a stash of chocolate that I used to stuff his knee for, so maybe that is something.
Oh yeah, there's a little incentive there. I'm going to get a little bit closer just to the people at home when you're back after hear all your amazing stories. Again, kind of in the same vein, but as a child, did you like being the centre of attention, or were you shy and retiring?
Oh, I definitely wasn't shy and retiring. I don't know that I like being the centre of attention. Sally probably took over the centre of attention. I would be on the edge with everything attention.
So you had to compete?
Yeah, we definitely had to compete with each other.
Okay, so for those who don't know, how many of you are there in your family?
There's three. It's myself, Sally is my eldest sister, and then Annie is my youngest sister.
Okay, so of the three of you, Sally is the most?
Growing up, Sally would have been the strongest. It's a house full of women. So even the dog. I don't know what the dog is. My dad is blessed amongst women. But a very strong household of women.
Okay.
There was no one was shy in the house.
No shy in the house.
Loud and proud.
All of you were.
Always, yeah. And you had a really strong kind of GA background. Sally was involved in everything under the sun. son. Just like it is. I remember when she went for the Clare Music Society and I was too young. And I couldn't go, and I was sickened that I couldn't go in, and she was in it, and she did the Music Man in the Ors Baldrick, and I remember going up and like, oh my god, I'm so going to be up there with her next year.
And did seeing your sister do it make you want to do it even more?
Yeah, she was always such a great singer, she still is, she's an amazing singer. Yeah, watching her doing it, yeah. Then she started playing the drums and shot.
Was you with that direction? Did you, because you're obviously a pianist as well, friend who doesn't know, when did you start that?
I started when I used to go down to Aiden, down in Woodlawn, and play with him. I was probably about 9 or 10. I think for piano, you probably need to be that little bit older to start to play away with it, have it in the house all the time and to play with it. But I think to really fall in love with it, I do think you need to be that little bit older because it's a really difficult instrument to play.
Yeah.
To sight read. Great, I play by ear.
Okay.
I'm awful at sight reading. I can do it, but it takes me much longer.
Okay.
So if you gave me a song to sing or to play, I could do that and play it by ear. So there are two different types. I think you're classically trained, or maybe by ear. I don't know what it's called, but like phonics, or you can sound it out. So and then I went to Liz Brosnan, and I'd say I traumatized the life out of her because I never knew my pieces. I never had learned anything. I would go home and I'd be looking at the page and like, oh my god, it was just like a foreign language. And I probably do regret not trying a little bit harder with it, with the piano, in a sense of classically being able to play. Because I do know that when I'm playing in Great Southern, I play on Friday night, and they might shout out like an Italian piece of music, and I'm like, do you like Deep Marshall? and I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry, but if I know it by ear, so like I can play this gorgeous, The River Flows, like it's a beautiful classical piece, Canon D, like that's all. When I hear it and I pick up the music, I can play it. But it would take me longer to sit down and sign read it. I've gone off track.
No, I love this. It's just a chat, and I love that because I was speaking to Santi Knase, who's a classical pianist, and she years of training. She did all the learning. She got really frustrated because she said, I can't just play something. I have to sit down, work it out, and she said, I can't do it by ear. And I think she did go with her work. A lot of people I'm classically trained, you spend time sometimes on doing it. I find it amazing when I see you at a piano. And pianists, they're just like, oh yeah, I'll just play that. I'm like, how? What magic do you possess? I think it's absolutely incredible what you do. Genuinely.
It's just, I suppose, you have one or the other, and people that have both are extremely lucky and extremely talented.
Yeah, it's hard to both though. So if you were saying your style of piano playing, is it like, was there ever like a trad influence in there, or is it more pop?
I can accompany trad, but I wouldn't play trad on the piano. It would be more contemporary. I love playing. I love playing Motown, and I love playing old 1950s and 1960s music. Love playing. They're gorgeous. I don't think they write music like that anymore. I don't think there's nothing that comes on the radio. Now I do actually, I tell a lie, because you have the likes of Amber and Kingfisher writing beautiful ballads, and they're gorgeous ballads to sing along with. But I do think, like, when you think of Motown and you think of I'm trying to think like Sam Cooke, like you wouldn't hear. I don't think that's being written at the moment. It's not mainstream anyway.
So you're drawn to like the classics.
Yes.
And hopefully the classics. I'm often wondering in years to come, will something that's there now, will that ever be considered a classics, or are we just not writing classics anymore?
Well, I think they're turning them around, like stuff that you hear on the radio now. I know that in the 90s it would have been a track, released as a brand new track, and now they're using the track because it was so good, the dance music was so good. And hip-hop music, like 90s and 2000s, again, they're not making music like that anymore. Like that was an amazing time to have music and to be going out and dancing to music. Like it's just such great music. My brother-in-law actually quoted a song today. It was White Left Shannon. Do you remember?
Yes. They don't write them like they used to. We're already at that age where we're saying, they don't write music like they used to. And you mentioned a few people that taught you and that you work with. But would you say, do you have anyone in mind you could say who's your biggest influence or mentor? Do you know what? It's got nothing to do with music. I went to boarding school when I was
11. I was too young to go into first year. And everybody was turning 12 way before me, and I wasn't turning 12 until the next November. So everyone was that year older than me. So I didn't want to stay back because I didn't want to go into, at that age, I think it's harder to stay back. It's easier maybe in junior infants, senior infants to stay back, but I think it's obviously a little bit more difficult. One of my classmates is here right now. But yeah, I did, and I went to 2 different schools. I went to Scullinova in Cork and did a year boarding there, and it was all in Irish. And I remember on my first day, the Ordvaster, who was the headmaster, he asked me, he said, "Oh, shin scale lily," and I was like, "Oh." And he was like, "Do you know what that means?" I was like, "Yeah, there's a restaurant." And he was like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do with this one?" And I actually didn't even know how to say on the Catholic something in Irish. Like, I had no Irish, absolutely none. And now I can hold a conversation in Irish. So that's just 1 year. Yeah.
Wow.
And I loved it. So he was so strict, like so strict. And he was like, "You can do it." I was like, "I can't. I'll never be able to speak this language." Bonkers. And he was like, "You are able to do it. Let's do it together." And I remember just admiring him so much. I remember when he died a couple of years ago. And it was like, oh God. I don't know if anyone had like someone in their life that was in their life, but not really. They were in it just for a short period of time, and then they passed away, and you were like, oh gosh, he meant a lot to me.
Yeah. Oh my God. And like, how did you survive? I'm fascinated by it. I never knew this about you. I just think to how did you survive? It's just usually the last podcast. On a daily basis, very good. How did you survive the first like 2 or 3 months? I'm just trying to even imagine the scenario. Yeah, when you didn't have Irish, was it everything literally done through? Everything.
It's like going to grade school, I suppose. And for junior infants, going to grade school after maybe not speaking Irish at home, maybe they're lucky they are speaking Irish at home. But yeah, it's like when it's again playing by ear. I couldn't write Irish, couldn't really read it, but I could speak it because I had it in my ear and I had it. I'd be listening to people think, and I'd pick it up then.
Do you know what I mean? Incredible ear for language, for sound, for goodness, you'd be floating out the door afterwards. No, it is really amazing because I'm worried. Have you picked up other languages like that along the way, or was it because you were immersed in it?
No, it's like French. It would be like I went into French. I wasn't very good academically French, but again, like that, loved going to the oral to speak.
Yeah.
You know, let's say they were like, oh, here we go.
And have you always done like hearing you perform with your accents are literally?
I was just going to say, it really helps with accents.
Amazing.
Yeah, so hearing accent. And actually, to be fair, in the academy, in the school, when we do like different accents and different plays, it's really fun to change your accent. It's really fun to become somebody else.
Yeah,
you know,
it is. It is. It's like to step out of your own skin for a second.
It's harder to be in your own skin.
Yeah.
You know.
We were chatting about that before. There's something nice about putting on a costume.
Yeah,
a mask. Feathers a bit of a costume or a mask. You know, anything to kind of mask yourself up a little bit. Who was the character whose accent, or like, is there any accent you've done that was the most challenging?
Well, yeah, Ava Braun.
I was wondering. How did you go about that?
Listening to the soundtrack and listening to her speak and listening to videos of her live speaking in Spanish and trying to figure out, where did she make a sound, or where did she, and it wasn't obviously all in English, but when I was saying Buenos Aires, it was like trying to figure out how do you say it, and then I went to London to see it, and she said Buenos Aires. And it was just like, oh, that's different to how I had heard it. And
okay. So there's no coaching on that. That was all you doing that.
We did it as a team. Like, I mean, if it was wrong, they called me out. Like, no, it sounds like Liverpool.
But mainly by ear.
But it was by ear. Yeah, just listening and singing. Like, actually, I found it the easiest show to learn because it was all through song.
Okay.
So yes, so much easier when you learn text. It's like, oh my God. Trying to remember text is really difficult, and trying to learn, you read it and you're like, how do I get this into my head? And you like read, visualize words, and then like Sweet Charity, she didn't leave the stage, and she just had text upon text, and it was like, okay, where are we? But then you have great people on stage that support you if you're stuck or if you've missed a place. Everyone stays professional. and we just pick up, you pick up, and that's with the kids as well. If anything happens on stage, it's like, it happened this year, and it was like some kid came in and just gave a line, and it was like, oh my god. At that age, to be able to just knock it out of the park is so cool. It's so cool to watch.
That kid is built for show business if they can do that on the spot, not to play.
Yeah, that group, yeah, they did a really, really good job.
Oh, that's amazing. You talked a lot about being in character and how different it is to step out on stage. So my next question, I'm so interested to know, did you ever want to be famous or well known?
Yeah. Oh my god, as a kid, all I wanted to do was be famous.
Yeah.
I wanted to be on Broadway, I wanted to be in movies. Yeah, I did, yeah, no point lying about it. Right now, today, not a hope.
Not a hope.
No, not a hope.
What's
and actually,
changed?
social media is really difficult for that,
Okay.
because you do see people that say hello to you and you might not know them, and you're like, or they might comment on something that you've done, and it is a little bit weird, I suppose, a little bit, oh gosh, and that would be like, can you imagine that 8 times a million, I don't know, hundreds of thousands. If you were like, in, like let's say for a lead role in a Broadway show, like people do know who you are, like you look at Adina Menzel, she worked her way up. Some people walk out of backstage and they could play the supporting actress and nobody knows who they are unless you're really into the show, you're really into theatre. And they just walk out the door, and then the famous character will come out, and the famous actress will come out, and the place screams, and she's to run in and hide and get into a car. So there's fun in it and a thrill, I'm sure. And I'm sure financially there's a massive bonus, but like, does it outweigh it? No, I don't think so.
There must be a huge amount of pressure with that expectation, you know, every time you walk on stage, it's like, she's here, you know, she has an really, really tough. Can you remember, or if you were to think about it, was there a time in your life when you thought, I don't want that, or why? Like, what changed and you were like, I actually don't think I want fame?
Fell madly in love. Honest to God, yeah, like, if you do go for a career, so I look at Jessie Buckley and I think how lucky she is. She's just had a baby. She has an amazing career under her belt, and I'm sure she's happy in her relationship, you know, she's had a baby stuff. So that's a massive assumption. But I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I have no idea how she manages it or whatever, like, you know, in that sense. But for me, at that time when my path was going down, you know, settling down and having a family and getting married, I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, not at all. And I do remember some people being like, oh, you're mad, moving out of Dublin and going home. And I went to Cork first, and I was like, well, not really, because I'm so much happier when I'm with my husband than I am in any other situation.
So if I told 15-year-old Lily, you're going to live in Kerry,
well, she would have said, yay! We didn't start going out till we were 23, so I would have been delighted to be 15.
So there was no stage when the Kerry would have been like, oh no, I know.
No, to be fair, I did think I would live in Dublin.
Okay.
Or London or New York,
But Dublin was not for you?
Oh, I loved Dublin. I loved Liam more.
Okay, it was really good. Yeah.
He was not coming to Dublin.
It's a different way of life in Dublin. And maybe
it is, and if you kids, like Sally had to move to Dublin, I remember for a stint, and she had her babies up there, and it's hard. It's hard being anywhere without your family to support you.
Yeah, it's a different way of life up there, and you'd wonder would the Academy have come into fruition in Dublin, you know, because you started here. It's incredible. And speaking about everything you've done up until now, what do you think is more important? Natural talent or hard work?
Hard work, because your talent, your talent will be there for you, but the work, you have to work hard to get something, and like that can be from the smallest thing with getting up in the morning. You know, you have to get up in the morning. You have to, you know, mind yourself, mind your health. You have to work hard on yourself. You have to work hard on your friendship. Friendship isn't something that you just get. You have to work hard to keep it going. Relationships are hard work, but you work hard to make sure that it's to work hard, you get it all back in return. You know, so
Yeah, that's great. And with the Academy, with the students, have you seen ones come in, I know some of them are a bit younger, but have come in with that natural talent, ones that have come in and they're more of the grafters? Have you seen the difference? From my own teaching, I've seen a big difference between the ones that have come in with the big voice and the ones that have come in with the big love. And often overtake the natural talent. Have you seen that?
It's funny. I do think that you can have this natural talent, but also be the hard worker and not let the natural talent overshadow your focus. and that's really important. But yeah, if you come in and you think you have it all, that's totally different.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I have seen kids that have been very unassuming, and I think that's amazing when they come into an audition room, because we do auditions for shows, and when they come in and you're like, I remember last year a girl came into the room and I had no idea she could sing, and I burst into tears. And I went, oh my god, this is what it's about. This is what it's all about.
You just love the academy. Where does that come from? Where does that start from?
I was working in AIB, and then I got offered another job, and I was like, God, I'm leaving such a secure job, this is not mad, and I left it because I was kind of like supported to leave it by my family and friends, and went into this job. The job didn't work out, and it was COVID, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Sure. My friend Robert rang me and he was like, open the school. Do not be so silly. Open the school. And I was like, I can't. And then he was like, just do a summer camp and see how it goes. And then you can open in October, or you can open in January. But just do the summer camp, it'll be fine. And then we had to do a COVID summer camp, which was outside all day until 4 o'clock. That was crazy. The whole town came.
They've been locked in for years.
I think we were the only summer camp declining, and we were also the only camp definitely going to 4 o'clock. Early drops and half-age. It was. Now, to be fair, the youngest group, our juniors, went home at lunchtime, and then we had the seniors, the juniors, seniors, stay on until 4. But it rained. It was the hottest summer. We had to buy all these canopies, about 5 canopies, and just set them up on the basketball court at the Mercy. And then there'd be a thunderstorm, and they'd all fall over you the next day. And then I had a teacher who was very strict and would not let us go into. He was like, I'm leaving, I'm finishing, and he was so right. And if I didn't have him, I would be like, everybody into school, everybody into the classroom, and then it would have been, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
But he was like, you have to keep them all outside. And I'm like, it is lashing rain, or it's like 40 degrees.
That's incredible though you started with those circumstances. You didn't start with a lovely fluffy
Robert
music,
says
you
that.
know?
He says, he's like, you get through that, you get through anything that's wrong.
And the vision for it, like when you see it now. So how many years is
We're
it?
going to our 50th, this is our 5th year. Yeah.
So looking at it now, to go back to the 5 years ago, not 15, but
Yeah.
not back to 15, but think about falling in love. Think about the Macademy, and you look at it now. Is it fitting in with the vision you had for it, or has it exceeded all expectations?
It exceeded all expectations. Even yesterday, looking around the room, in Macmonagle's on Tuesday morning, looking around the room, yesterday morning, looking around the room, seeing parents come back with their kids after their children have started Montessori or preschool, and they're back with their new baby, and you're like, oh my God, you love it. And it's the exact same music, like it's the exact same structure, because that's important for the kids. So I'm like, oh my God, they're not bored, they're still into it. And then going in yesterday and seeing the smile and seeing the anticipation and seeing the kids that don't get to see their friends in school or at the weekend maybe, and it's just on a Thursday evening at Mac they get to come and meet their friends and maybe be someone else in their friendship. You know, sometimes in school friendships, it's you're in a group from very small to sixth class, and you become that person within that group, and maybe you actually have the space to become somebody else because you might be exploring a different personality and seeing what it's like, and that's cool.
And it's a beautiful space you're creating first. So when you start with babies, because I know my own baby was out there, started there, and we started during the pandemic. The first time we unmasked was in one of your classes. And I felt like, oh. It was in your class, I remember that, and like you were just...
No one was comfortable.
Nobody was
so
comfortable.
Weird.
We were as comfortable as we possibly could have been in the most uncomfortable, weird... And some people didn't take the masks off, which is totally understandable, but you made us feel as somebody who was sitting there very safe when people who had been carrying babies during that time were not allowed to leave the house basically, so you couldn't meet anyone, and not that anybody was doing anything, but in that room, you made us feel very safe. I just want to say that, because I was there, that was that the first, that was the first year, I guess, because it was really after the pandemic. But now you've got obviously the baby, so what age then, how far was it going in age now?
We go up, like we do go up to 18, but then you junior cert and leaving cert. They kind of take over a little bit when it comes to age 15, but I would always say your leaving cert and your junior cert are really difficult and really heavy mentally on you. So if you have one thing, it doesn't have to be academic, it could be anything you want. I do think if you're doing your leaving cert especially, you should keep one thing that is your escape from work. So you should have your days that you do your study and just manage it. I know you can't say to a 16, 17-year-old, oh, manage it better, like, that's bonkers, but actually it's a great learning tool because it's something that we have to do every day, more importantly than the square root of 39 or whatever. That's probably not even a real thing. But
the two singers of
yeah, I just think like there are certain things, life skills that should be taught in school that probably aren't taught in school. But I do think take away from this is keep something that's your escape.
That is, and it's a question I was going to ask you a bit later, but because what you said is so powerful. If you could give advice to somebody who has, let's say the ones who finished the leaving cert, okay, so they finished it, what piece of advice would you give the ones who are done with it right now?
Who are done?
They're finished with it. Let's just say they've done the leaving cert. Maybe those who maybe haven't gone on to college, who are a bit, right, not knowing what to do, and then we're going to flip it with the people who are going into the leaving cert.
Okay, so I think there should be a mandatory gap year that you take out, not instead of transition year, because obviously there's a benefit of transition year, but like transition year, where you could do more creative things, or you could like the courses, like the leaving cert applied courses, where they go off and they do more of a trade, or they do something that they're finding. I look at veterinary and doctors, and I see kids that are so able to be the vet and to be the doctor and knows everything about animals, knows everything about how you manage this and how you work with it, but maybe not more as academically applied. And they're losing out, and you're losing out on great people that can do these jobs. So I personally think a year out would be a great thing. And you're also very young to leave everything to go off and to be an adult. And you have to do this now.
And know it all.
And you just, it's like, I suppose, becoming a mom. Here's your baby. That's too hard. Okay. Where's the adult? What do I do? But yeah, I do think, and I think don't worry about it. Try it. If you're doing a course, be, as a parent, be a supportive parent. If your child isn't happy, try and see it. I mean, that's very difficult to say, but obviously if they're going to college and they're, just doing their thing and they're not enjoying it, like talk to them at Christmas. Like I know that in a family situation where the student spoke to his parent and it was like, are you happy? Like, are we wasting money? And it wasn't. And they came out of college and now their life is just completely different in a great sense. And they've done courses and they've become, they've got a career within it, aside from what they were going into, because obviously, like you see, you might panic or, I don't know, probably I'm speaking above my qualifications here, but I just think communication, speak to your kid, figure out where do we go.
That's very advice.
Good at something.
Yeah. Why not just keep that conversation going? You're so right. And then for the people that are going into the leaving cert this year, so they've gone in and all they're hearing is, it's your leaving cert now, it's up to you, and every single thing they hear is leaving cert, leaving cert. So and what would you say to those people?
I do think you'd be here, if you study, just apply yourself. I do believe in that. I do believe in trying to do your absolute best. I understand that school is not for everybody. Academic work is not for everybody, and that's why we're so lucky to have the drama course coming in now as well into the leaving cert the first year. To have your music practical, to have your woodwork practical, like you've got all these practical things that you can excel in and get 50%. So in some of them. And that's really important, so you can work on that, but then maybe if you justified yourself a little bit more in the academic part, you'd get 70%, shouldn't you, straight or 60%. I know it's not percentages anymore, or they're done in letters.
It's age something, some of the square root of 39, I have no idea. It's all changed to do with it.
I think don't stress it. There's a lot of stress on kids in everything. There's a lot of stress in every single thing that they do to be this particular type of person. But I think just you've 1 year. Yeah, you have 2 years, and 6 years. So just read, educate yourself, find things that you really enjoy reading. And like in English is your subject. find other things in English that aren't to do with your reading circle, but you're reading, you're educating yourself on that, and then hopefully it'll apply differently when you're studying.
You should go into schools and talk to them, because everything you're saying is just, have you done this? You should, because it's very, very solid. Not just like, something waffly and enjoy your life, you are very much even saying picking the practical subjects. If that's where you're stronger, why not? We both know the practical side of the music exam is, if you love it, and if you do it, it's very doable. If the theory cannot be, but
the theory is crazy in music, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
And I found theory really, really difficult, and I got a B in my music. And I found it really, really difficult to do the theory. Same with the Irish, the oral, with the different types of Irish, and you're trying to listen to it and you're trying to hear it with different vocal and the way they use different versions of Irish. It's difficult. No, this is back in 2020, my music specified, it's totally different.
I don't know if it's changed that much.
I don't know.
And everything, you've got so much wisdom, and one of my questions is, and I'd love to read it by the way, if somebody wrote a book about your life, what would it be called, and why?
Probably Lily Mac. I don't
I
know.
don't like that.
Oh, yeah, Lily Mac.
Why would you go
The
with
Diary of Lily Mac.
The Diary of Lily Mac.
Okay, you don't want to read it. I used to keep a diary when I was a kid, and it came out at my hen party, and it is not pretty.
So you're telling me the book exists already? You see, you get a cover on it. And who would you like to read your story, or if you did decide to share your diary? Very particular. No, to pick up, read it, and get something from it. Like, is there any particular type of age?
Oh yeah, 100%. Kids.
Kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I suppose any adult would say that, I think, because you've made all the mistakes.
Yeah.
And I always say that there's a book called The Book I Wish My Parents Read, and it's because our kids are so lucky, and their kids will be luckier again because we'll make mistakes. So our parenting will change because of our parents' parenting.
Yeah.
We'll learn from that. We'll see something we didn't like, or we'll see something we absolutely loved, and put it into our parenting. And we'll take things that we don't want to use in our parenting because they've made the mistakes for us.
Yeah.
And I know that my grandparents did the same. It just goes on and on and on. So I do think, it's our job to make the mistakes so that our kids don't have to, and then we have to suffer from that or manage it.
They're going to learn from us and everything we do.
Yeah.
And I suppose we've got to let them make their mistakes and not try and stop them, which is the hardest thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're going to fall.
Yeah.
Try not to catch them every single time.
Every time.
Yeah. I mean, this year I spent my life going, your head, constantly, so it's hard. The next question is one that I'm in there because I'm not always necessarily going to be interviewing someone. Like my last guest had, literally he said, what's the arts? Like literally he didn't know, he said he never watches movies, he never listens to music. This is my first guest. And I was like, sorry. And I was trying to explain, he didn't know any actors, no musicians, no singers, never listened to anything at all. And I had to but it was really fascinating. We broke it down. He was seeing art everywhere by the end of it. But I'm going to ask you a question anyway. We probably covered it, but I'm wondering if there's other aspects. So, what role has the arts played in your life, be it music, writing, visual arts, any kind of arts? What role has it played in your life?
Well, this is very. But the arts has saved me in a sense of finding what I really need to be doing, and if I didn't have the arts, and I learned that from doing different jobs. I've never been happier doing something like this in my life. So I would say that the arts is a very, very important role in my life.
Could you imagine life without the arts?
No. I would be locked up. I think like this is not the job. The arts is your escape, the arts is an escape.
And you kind of spoke about balance a bit earlier on, so about managing friendships and everything. But with the arts, do you ever find when it's your career that it takes over, or are you good at finding balance of saying that's my job, put that there, and then do this other thing over here, or does it?
No, it's all one.
It's all one.
Yeah. So
Okay.
actually, telling students to manage everything, no, I take my own advice. When it's your own, you're constantly making sure that you are going to get the job and get the next job, and by that I mean like when people ask you to do something, it's very difficult to say no because you think, oh, maybe they're never going to ask again.
Yeah.
So it's very important to to work hard. I have a great family life.
Okay.
I absolutely love it. I'm so lucky that I have hours that I can give my kids that other parents can't give because of work.
Yeah.
And I am very grateful for it. And I'm very grateful for it. But then my work has to get done at 9, and then parents get emails at 12 o'clock at night. And I'm like, "Hey, just heads up for tomorrow. Kids have to do fancy dress." Wow.
You want to email to get it?
I had a really bad day. I'm like, guys, just. But yeah, your emails get sent in later.
Yeah, your working hours are a little different, but as you said, it allows you, there's always a good and a bad to everything, but on balance, you know, you said you get those extra hours with your family. When you're self-employed, everything looks a bit different. You do have that bit of control, especially with kids, to try and get that bit of time in the middle of the day. With the arts, I'm so intrigued to ask you, do you have a favourite thing that you do? I know it's hard, but weddings or singing at different events. I don't want to include Macmonagle in this because that's your heart, and that's your but in terms of your own performing, do you have a favourite thing? Stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it when you're in a character, or would you like concert singing as well, or do you prefer more of a character?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it about that you just really love? Why is that your favourite thing?
I just love performing.
Okay.
Like I love someone being able to come into a room and watch it and not think. And my biggest fear with the Vita was that there were certain things that we were doing, and I was like, oh, it's going to break the truth of the character, and they're going to say, oh, that's Lily on stage.
Okay.
And I would be very, very conscious of that,
Okay.
to always make sure that the audience believe. That's so fun to be able to, for people to come away and go, gee, wasn't that really cool?
Yeah.
Wasn't that cool? Did you see the way they did that with the stage? Or did you see the way I went to see the Wizard of Oz and Shakespeare, and the costume change that they did for the Scarecrow, Tin Man and Lion was like, I was at the edge of the stage watching it, and I was like, they're never going to get the makeup off. They're never going to do that. And Dorothy just kept spinning on the stage in the tornado, and they all came on as the men in the show, at the very end of the show, and I was like, oh my god, amazing! It was the best part of the show. But they turned it around so fast, and I think they had like 6 people backstage, like scrubbing their faces and stripping their clothes and like just getting them ready to go on. And that was with Ava as well. That was hard. The costume changes were really quick. So the support and the trust of the people that are backstage is really important.
And you should change on the stage at one point, didn't you? So I remember thinking, how is she doing this? Like, if you get a kick,
it's not me doing it.
It's not you.
It's not me doing it.
It's not you doing it.
Yeah. And that's what I want everyone to believe. That's not that, or they don't care that I'm doing that because they're entranced in the character and what she's doing. So they don't care that Lily's doing that on stage. And that's why I'm not embarrassed about it.
I know what you mean.
And that's really important for the students to know as well that, and I said it even yesterday, I was like, this is the place to be silly and to do things that you might laugh at in another situation in real life, but this isn't real life. This is your safe space to perform, and that's the stage, it's your safe space to do something different.
And it's your job to be this other person, and it's not to... Did you feel, I know like way back when I was in college and I had to play a character in an opera, and she was horrible. Like, I was a horrible character, but one day in rehearsal I said, oh, do you feel a bit bad that she lost everything in the end? And the director looked at me and she said, you're an awful human being in this. No one feels bad, but now you know that you've become her. And I thought, oh, thank God I didn't last for too long. But do you actually kind of feel a bit like you become the person when you're in character? You can identify with it.
I don't, with method acting, when I identify, you find things that you can bring from yourself into it, you adapt the character. But I wouldn't be into method acting. The character stays where the character, the rehearsal finishes.
But when you're her, do you feel you see things from her point of view?
You try not to talk to people because you want to stay in character. So you try not to have a normal conversation. If it's before the show, you try just to get into your head. And we teach, that's important as well. Like we go through that. Like it's showtime. There's no chat backstage. Like it's very important that you get into your head. You know exactly where you're going and why you're going there on stage. Yeah,
and it's a really, really good plan. Even when I tell my students that, and I don't have silly conversations with people just before you go out there, because you'll walk out as yourself. You don't want that to happen. You need to mask up, as we said. And if you have an accent to do, you also don't want people chatting with you beforehand. Like, I need to know what you did right now, or things, when you walk out. We talked a lot about characters this evening, but is there a well-known TV or movie character that you feel like you identify most with?
Identify with?
Yeah, or you feel like you're kind of like them?
Cookie Monster. Oh God, that's a really hard question, Grace.
It is a hard question. Any member of the Friends cast is usually kind of a good place to go, or do you not like Friends? There's something
No, I love Friends, but I don't think I would, do I relate? Oh, I don't know, Rachel? Not Phoebe, I don't know, not Courtney Jean Freak. Yeah, like that's a really hard question.
It's a hard question. Some people have someone straight away, that, and if you don't, you don't. But I think it's because you've played so many characters as well. Maybe they're the ones that kind of come to mind more so than some
I have characters that I'd love to play, but I don't know if they'd be like, do you know.
Who would you love to play?
I'd love to play The Notebook, Ali in The Notebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a stage adaptation of that?
Yeah. But the music is insane. Really hard.
Is it also musical as well?
Mm-hmm. It's musical. They've created music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that could be for Turner Musical Society.
No.
So that's really, really interesting. A bit of a deep one. How would you like to be remembered?
Funny, kind, and loving.
That's gorgeous. Would that be in the book as well? Did I take that?
In the book.
Funny, kind, and loving.
Funny girl.
Another character, a funny girl.
You can't book that, funny girl.
The funny girl.
I don't know. Someone you come and talk to.
Yeah. And someone who's incredible for you.
I'd like to be remembered, actually, full stop. That's what I'd like to do. Not for anything, just be remembered.
Just be remembered.
Yeah.
I like having that quote. I like that. Just be remembered.
Just to be remembered.
That is,
yeah.
That's powerful. I like that. I really like that. If you could meet one well-known artist, living or dead, who would it be and what would you ask them?
I would probably meet. Oh. Gosh, I raise these questions. I'd love to meet Idina Menzel and to talk to her about how you manage life, being a Broadway performer and having a life. If I was to have someone at my table, I'd love Peter Kay or Tommy Tiernan or someone that's Robin Williams. I'd love to meet Robin Williams. That's my
So comedy is
but comedy is in sadness. You know, like so that's I'd like to meet him.
Is stand-up something you've ever considered doing? Because funny has come up a lot. Like you are funny.
Very
You're a guess. I think it probably is the most scary.
I think stand-up would be the hardest
art form.
Comedy is the hardest thing. It's
Yeah.
easy to be sad, easy to be dramatic. It's really hard to make somebody laugh.
Yeah. And you're up against people who may be sitting there thinking, I'm not gonna.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that they're open to not
I
laughing.
respect comedians so much.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. And Tommy Tiernan's one of your favourites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe you can show someday then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
clutching Grace.
Just something that came to my mind there. Have you ever written music or like your own show?
I haven't played. Not a show. Oh, I adapt Academy stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I do a jukebox musical. This year we're doing an actual musical. The juniors are going to do a jukebox Disney musical. And the seniors are doing Lily Blonde, which is very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
A song, have you written a song at any stage?
Huh?
Have you ever written a song?
I have heard the song, yeah.
Okay. Have people heard the song?
It's on Instagram.
Oh, okay. I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely, it's incredible to hear your story. You have been absolutely amazing. I just want to ask you one more question before we get to our quick fire round, and then sit everybody back out. Hopefully it's not raining as much. In your opinion, what is the key to success?
Support.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to have the success of the Academy, and I definitely call it success, without the support behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Just before the Academy opened, we went through a very sad period in our life, and the only thing that got us through it was our family, and each other, obviously, and the Academy. And that's why I say the arts is very important.
Yeah, and you're like a family now. That's the feeling I get when I see you on Instagram.
Yeah.
Academy is like this place.
I'm a cross mother.
A supportive mother. So like
That's a supportive mother, yeah.
And I that support, I guess it's there with family and it's there with friends, but it's also, you've created this family outside of your own family, and now everyone feels safe in it, which is incredible, because I think the role of an artist sometimes can be a little lonely, but you've created a space where all these kids have each other, and I'm sure that will grow up together and know they have each other's back, so that's amazing. Before the big fire round, I just want to say, can everyone give a huge round of applause to Lily? Absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to see more and more of what you do, because you're a star, and it's been great to just sit here and chat with you. It's been so lovely. I just want to thank you all for coming, because I know this evening has been, as I said, just the darkest evening, but having you guys here and that energy in the room just meant so much. It meant so much. You've been a lovely audience. I want to thank Kerry County Arts for their support this evening as well, and John down there for setting up and for doing ticket sales, and my friend Bernice, who's not here at the moment, but she did give me her seats again, so I promise I am going to buy my own seats eventually for this setup. And if anyone wants to sign up for the newsletter, it's just on a piece of paper there in the hall, and we're going to do another one in the next month and the next month. And I'm always open for any suggestions for lovely guests that would like to join me afterwards. So we're going to do one more, which is a quick fire round, which nobody is ever quick at these things, but anyway, I tried it with my dad earlier on, and it was like, he just couldn't answer anything, so I hope you're better than my dad. He thought I was offering him a tea or coffee when I asked him tea or coffee. So I'm not giving you one. We don't have the facilities. Okay. Wine? Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
At the moment, I'm an early bird.
Okay. Last thing you Googled?
Can I check?
I love this. This is so we could have just lied, but I love the honesty.
Who was singing in Rose Street tonight?
This guy wasn't with me.
No, what did I think it was? I think it sounded like you. No, what did I Google it?
It was a girl again this year.
It was a
a
girl.
female
I
singer.
swear it sounded like my sister-in-law, and I was like, oh my gosh, who is that? It sounds really like her.
There you go. That's what you Googled.
Weather in Carney and Jingle B&B.
We know all your plans. Okay, a food you can't stand.
Oh, blue cheese.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, no, I get that. And one word your friends would use to describe you.
Mad.
Mad. Mad, funny, lovely, and you will be remembered.
Great
I
crap.
have no doubt about it. Another big round of applause for Lily. Thank you all so much. Stay home now tonight on the road.